S'il vous plaît, mesdames et messieurs, merci.
Fifth set. This is like the 15th round. Sergi Bruguera leads off. His first major title within his grasp. Against the champ.
I guess, but it's like the 12th round now since they've changed the rules. If we look here, Jim Courier's career 5-set record, great improvement over the last 6 matches. Biggest win defeating Andre Agassi 2 years ago here in the final from 2 sets to 1 down.
Sets for Sergi Bruguera, also
he's not particularly
500.
good. Yeah, 4 and 7. There's something about those 15-round fights, huh, bud? It's too bad they don't have those anymore.
Net court.
Loose stroke there by Sergi Bruguera. He can't afford to make those type of mistakes in the 5th set of his first Grand Slam final.
A chance right away for Courier.
He's doing the right thing here. Take his time, regroup. Up by Jim Courier.
Well, it goes down as a shot on the baseline.
Let's look at it here and see if we can pick it up. It to me like it was just inside the line. Great approach by Jim Courier to give him a 2 break points for an immediate break first game of the 5th set.
Right away, Bruguera, who led 2 sets to 1, could watch it slip away. Service return on a difficult ball, and the champion stakes out a service break lead in the 5th. Jim Courier now has maybe turned it around. Bruguera led all the way 2 sets to 1. Courier caught up and starts the final set with a break of serve. What must Bruguera do, John McEnroe?
Well, Bud, the first thing he needs to do is cut down on those unforced errors, and he's got to forget about the fatigue he's obviously feeling in his legs. He's played a tremendous match up to this point. He had a great opportunity at 2 sets to 1 up. He's still in this match. He's only a breakdown in the 5th set. However, Jim Courier has won 10 of the last 11 points, so he better be careful here. This match might be over in about 10 or 15 minutes.
Courier!
And you can better believe that Jim Courier senses the fatigue that Sergi Bruguera is feeling both physically and mentally. A big serve here sets himself up for another forehand winner.
Jim Courier.
You can taste it.
The monastic life is paying off. Here's a guy who locks himself in a hotel room, no women, no nothing. He just thinks he's like an old-time fighter. Ace!
Well, you certainly can't argue with the results, but as we see Jose Higueras and Brad Stein, they must be feeling good about their pupil.
5 aces.
He has a chance to do what no American has ever done and win 3 straight French Open titles, an amazing achievement. Well, but he needs a lot more points like that, but he doesn't need them just at 40 love down. You can see he was going for a little bit extra here, a little bit frustrated. He was down 40 love. He's got to put a string of points together to turn the tide.
A point for a 2-love lead for Courier. And he has it. Well, this is the silver anniversary of the first major open. That was the French in 1968, 25 years ago. I hope Nancy Ritchie and Cliff Ritchie are watching in San Angelo, Texas. Nancy won it, the title, as an amateur. The only female amateur to win one of the majors. She got $400 in expenses. Cliff Ritchie, it cost him even more. I'll tell you about that. They almost didn't hold that open. It was during the near revolt in France, the student uprising. The kids throwing paving blocks at the cops. There was a general strike. There was no transport coming here. Cliff Ritchie was in Luxembourg. He flew in there. You couldn't fly into Paris. He had to hire a cab to get here. $200. That was a lot of money in those days. And he was an amateur. But he made it to the 4th round once he got here. But what a time in Paris that was. 2 minutes.
Sergi Bruguera, but needs to get his mind back into this match. You can sense it up here in the booth, the match slipping away from him.
Has to have this game. And James helped him a little.
And maybe he realizes we have a little bit more of airtime. He wants to take full advantage of this.
Well, NBC can't knock Sergi, I'll tell you that. Last year, we were doing song and dance routines after Corda got out of town. Must game for Sergi Bruguera. Down love 2. Final set to the champ. Chance, not a very good one, and so Bruguera's on the board. Courier up a break at 2-1.
Courier mène par 2 jeux à 1.
As a few cries of vamos ring throughout the arena, Sergi does anything but. A loose forehand return, a yard beyond the baseline, 15 love. Jim Courier has a championship lead now, up a break. I don't think he's out of the woods yet. 2-1, 15 love.
But he's not out of the woods, but he's certainly in the driver's seat.
Well, I hope he's in a tank so he can get out of the woods. Mental fatigue, I think, is showing, John.
You can see the strain in Sergi Bruguera's face. And I think there's another important stat that we should bring up to the public, and that is Sergi Bruguera's 5-set record is only 4-7, and he's blown a 2-1 lead 6 different times in those matches. That is a very revealing stat. I think we're about to see number 7.
Well, Courier, as we pointed out, doesn't have a good 5-set record, but those losses earlier in his career, notably in 1989, here. In 1989, as we first watched this replay.
Well, Bud, he set Sergi Bruguera up beautifully in this point. This was the shot. Took a little bit off that forehand. Bruguera was on the full run. This point was over if Jim had hit that over the net, but
it's 30-15. It was in 1989 when the mammoth Courier forehand first appeared to public attention. He beat Andre Agassi here. Bombed him. Hits the line, 30-all. But after beating Agassi, he lost from 2 sets to love to Andre Chesbukov.
well, it's great to see Sergi Bruguera fighting this hard. He's had a history of letting down the 5-set matches. That is great touch on the lob. Beautiful topspin lob. See Jim here, only could watch this go over his head.
30-all. The service break lead is rocking now.
Look at Jim Courier look to the skies there, bud.
He's baying at the moon, which is not quite out yet.
Here he comes again, into the net again. Good volley behind Sergi Bruguera. Nice touch. Look at his reaction after he wins this point.
Is he speaking in French or English?
Is he thinking? I think he was thinking in French there, preparing for his speech.
A point for a 3-1 lead.
Silence.
It's wide. Courier doesn't like the call, but accepts. Deuce.
What a match, bud.
Égalité.
Had every element you could think of in it.
It's like yesterday's women's singles. A lot of mistakes, spottily played, but gripping. Bruguera puts up 2 fingers on the 13th stroke. What a play!
Some heavy, heavy forehands here by Sergi Bruguera. Look at this touch. Jim tries to get it, doesn't get it. And look at Sergi. Say, hey, that was 2 bounces, not 1.
Avantage Bruguera.
Well, we're back to break point bingo for Bruguera.
This effort by Jim Courier almost got that ball.
The break point lottery.
But what a topsy-turvy affair. Just when you thought Sergi Bruguera was out of the match, makes a tremendous effort to get back into this game. All tied up, 2-all in the 5th set. He is pumping himself up now. I think adrenaline rush number 3 or 4 is coming.
Courier had a point for 3-1.
S'il vous plaît, joueurs sont prêts. Un tout petit peu de silence. Merci.
Well, Bruno Rubieu, the umpire, asking for silence, which is a tough call in a place like this. 17,000.
Finally, this 4th break.
4th and 25. So Bruguera is ahead by 1 point.
Well, but on the other side of the coin, though, you got to give Bruguera having you got to give him credit for having so many chances to break. There's not too many people that have 25 chances to break Jim Courier's serve.
All he needs maybe is one more, and he can say, well, I made 6 out of 60, but I won the match.
But he's got Courier missing. He's got the French crowd behind him as well, which is a big plus for him. The crowd is going to pump him up and get him through this match, and maybe he'll be able to get by an adrenaline only.
Crowds are fickle. They loved him for his speech in French last year. But as Billie Jean King says, well, you win a couple times, the crowd wants to see somebody else in there.
S'il vous plaît.
Bruno Rebeu holds up Bruguera, who just someone yelled just as the ball went into the air. Boy, and Bruguera tough. Courier's not thinking about winning 3 straight or 21 straight matches. He's just trying to stay alive against this guy now.
What a turn of events.
He had a winning lead with a point for 3-1, but that was moments ago. That's the deep past as far as this match is going. A sneak volley that doesn't work. Sergi Bruguera regains the lead. They're on serve, 3-2.
Back at Roland Garros with Jose Higueras, Jim Courier's coach. If you could tell him one thing, Jose, right now, what would it be?
You gotta keep being focused and keep moving. He played a very passive game at 2-love in the 5th, and seems like he's a little more passive now. I think he's gotta keep moving his feet and going for his shot when he has them.
All right, let's go back up to Bud.
Jose Higueras puts his finger right on it. A passive game. The 3rd game when Courier looked as though he was going to go win it driving. It looked as though he could take that 3-love and just keep moving. Now, this is the biggest game of his life in the French.
But it's like Jose said, he played a passive game, and he made some unforced errors at 2-love where he really could have put a stranglehold on this match. Now down 2-3.
He must hold here.
Got Bud, the way things are going, I'm not sure if he must hold.
Right.
Crazy match.
But it'd be to his advantage.
I think it would be to his advantage.
Take his time now. 2-3, 15-love. They can go no further than a 5th. Whoa, the wild forehand again.
That is a very difficult shot to handle, that low slice return that Bruguera seems to have perfected in the last year.
32 unforced forehand errors.
It's a short ball. It's tough to know whether to come in or stay back on that, and Jim is a little bit confused about what to do. It was a tough shot to handle.
Bruguera always getting a piece of it now. That looked like a service winner.
Great stab there by Bruguera to get him into this point. Look at this big first serve right up the middle. Bruguera just barely gets it back. Too short, though, this time. Easy put away for Jim.
30-15. Down the booby-trapped path of the 5th set.
Tension now, but knows he was up 2-love. Had a chance of hold for 3-1 in the 5th set. Played another fairly loose game at 2-all. Now he finds himself at 30 all at 3-2. 2-3, excuse me.
Sergi.
Well, Bud, this isn't what you'd expect from Jim Courier in a fifth set. Huge opportunity for Sergi Bruguera. Seems to have gotten his third or fourth win now.
4 of 25, but he'd settle for 5 of 26.
He'd be happy with 5 of 26 if he wins this match. You don't care how many breakpoint opportunities he's blown.
The 1993 French Open is brought to you by John Nuveen & Company. Quality tax-free investment since 1898. By Coca-Cola Classic. Always the real thing. Always Coca-Cola. And by Canon. Canon cameras. So advanced, they're simple.
Can this young man hang on? He now has a winning lead, a championship lead. Sergi Bruguera, 4 games to 2 in the 5th set. Courier had 30-15 in that game. Couldn't hang on to it.
He can taste it, Bud.
The proposition, hold serve twice, and you are the champion. Following such Spaniards as Manolo Santana and Andre Semeno. Jim Courier, is it slipping away from him? Played a passive third game, according to his coach, Jose Higueras, when he might have gone up 3-love.
It's over, Bud.
A monumental effort to take this title away from Courier.
Big forehand cross court off the return. Solid forehand up the line, forcing Bruguera to run all over the court. Just misses that slice backhand.
10th seeded Bruguera.
Inexplicable.
Certainly is. He would not be the lowest seed to win, as his coaches, Courier's coaches, look gloomier, if that's possible. Matt Spilander in 1982 was unseeded.
17 years old, I believe.
Yeah. Time but couldn't decide what to do with it.
You're right, Bud. Here he looked a little indecisive off this shot. You could tell fairly early on Bruguera's going to hit that drop shot. Didn't do enough with it, and Bruguera hit that fine angle volley once again. Bruguera is volleying better than anyone expected him to.
30-15. It's the match of his young life. A point for 5-2 for Sergi Bruguera.
But that's just beautiful preparation on a huge point. He is hitting that backhand down the line so well today. Look at this. He's won 16 of the last 20 points.
S'il vous plaît, un tout petit peu de silence.
And an indecisive approach floats. It's 5-2 for Bruguera.
joueurs sont prêts, s'il vous plaît.
Luis Bruguera, the father, the coach. They've had stormy sessions on the court, but very close. And it's been them against the rest of Barcelona because there's a split in the tennis community. And wouldn't it be something if Bruguera won this? He needs only one game.
Well, we certainly know who the proudest father in the stadium is at this time. An amazing effort by Sergi Bruguera to get himself in a position to win his first French Open title.
He's 3 points away. He was broken immediately as the fifth set began, and everybody said, well, Courier's the champ. He's won 20 straight here. He went up to 2-love and hasn't won a game since. And now Bruguera, 3 points.
He's proven a lot of people wrong, including myself.
And me.
Although we should add, it's not quite over yet. Courier's got 13 straight Grand Slam wins, 20 straight French Open wins.
The record 28 by Borg.
Amazing. See Jim Courier trying to get into the net again. Comes in at the last second, tries to surprise Bruguera. Just took his eye off that ball at the last second.
About a step behind where he should have been, and now 2 points from ceding his title to the Spaniard.
Hit there by Bruguera. He had a real chance to at least get that back into play, make Jim hit another volley.
Bruguera still 2 points from the title.
Great point here by Jim Courier. What a get here by Bruguera. Guesses right again. Just throws up too short a lob.
Sergi Bruguera attacked viciously in the Spanish press for losing 2 Davis Cup matches this year as the Netherlands upset Spain. Attacked last August for losing in the first round of the Olympics because he had an injury he'd incurred playing soccer. They may change their writing tunes today.
Not quite yet.
Twice 2 points from defeat, Courier. He must break serve here, or Bruguera ascends his throne. Sergi Bruguera, 22, 6 feet 2. First time, his debut in a major final. He shows the new balls, which he will serve for the championship his father, Luis Bruguera, raised him to win. Because in Europe, this is the championship. They to U.S. Open, Wimbledon. No, the French to Europeans. This is the ultimate. It's wide.
But tough to serve it out with new balls, though.
Why, John?
It's got a little bit more pace on it, and you know he's feeling the pressure, so the ball has a tendency to fly a little bit. And that was an example right there. A little bit of a miss hit cost him the first point.
Asking for silence. He may get it. Probably not. 15th stroke.
He's feeling the pressure. He's putting his shirt over his head now.
Love 30.
Jim just got the ball back in play. Unfortunate leg court for Bruguera to go down love 30. Look at his reaction after he misses his shot.
Courier purging himself of errors so far in this game. Playing with power, patience, and safety.
Well, Jim Courier is doing everything he can possibly to stay into this match. Running all over the court. A great cross-court forehand by Bruguera. Went for a little bit too much there on that stroke, but
he'd like to have that one back, but he was gunning for it. It's 15-30. Bruguera twice before has been 2 points from the match. Now he's 3 points. Woo! Was Courier glad to hear the linesman's call there? And a good return of the second ball on the baseline. 2 break points for Courier.
great return there by Jim Courier.
Almost a half volley, that return.
15-40.
Forced Bruguera to half volley that stroke. Hit the top of the tape. Courier looking for his 5th break of the match. Bruguera broken only 5 times the whole tournament coming into this match.
Boo, the umpire, trying to settle the crowd. A guy in a championship game. Down 2 break points, and then it's service winner.
What a time to hit a first serve like that.
30-40.
Championship game for Sergi Bruguera. Number 11 player in the world. Still break point. Shot he wanted. His money shot. Short forehand.
But he set himself up for this forehand. Hit a couple great strokes. Very, very deep. Just went it once again for just a little bit too much.
Deuce.
Try to make Bruguera win that on a passing shot. Look at Sergi's reaction.
36th unforced error on the forehand. Now, for the 3rd time, Bruguera 2 points from the championship. From 15-40.
Sergi Bruguera. Jim Courier an approach shot right on the line. Look at this passing shot he hit to win this point. Huge forehand by Courier. Look at that recovery by Bruguera, and look at his reaction here. Vamos, vamos.
Arriba, Sergi.
Avantage Bruguera.
He is 1 point from his father's wish.
S'il vous plaît.
His own wish, too.
I guess.
What a
Two forehand rips.
But Bruguera hit about as good a first serve as you can hit under these circumstances.
Égalité.
Courier almost half volleyed that return. It was incredible. Two huge forehands.
And match point vanishes. Service winner, match point 2. And he's going right at Courier's strength.
Avantage Bruguera.
Big serves under pressure, Bud. The crowd is really fired up right now. 4 hours of about the best play court tennis you're going to see.
S'il vous plaît, mesdames et messieurs, s'il vous plaît, merci.
What a classy act by Jim Courier there.
Jim Courier loses his championship and pulls his convert to his feet. 6-3 in the 5th set. Bruguera was hugged by Manolo Santana. Father Bruguera, that is. The first Spaniard to win the title. Manolo Santana in 1961. Ha ha, Bruguera. Sergi Bruguera in one of the great upsets in the history of the game. 10th seeded, 22 years old, never been in a major final, against a man who had won 2 in a row, Jim Courier, the #2 player in the world. He was out of the point. 6-4, 2-6, 6-2, 3-6, 6-3. And that brought up Father. It's Stade Roland Garros. The 65-year-old ballpark has not seen many more exciting than that. Jim Courier saving a match point as he sought to hang on to his title, but Sergi Bruguera was destined for it. And we will hear from him. Manolo Santana on the left. So all this coming up, the presentation, Dan Hicks interviews, the men's doubles final, and an interview with Andre Agassi. Will he be at Wimbledon? That's the Musketeer, Coupe de Musketeer. And one of them you will see. It's held up by Sergi Bruguera. Viva España! The man who is pilloried for playing so poorly in his hometown, the Olympics, is the champion. And in the center, Jean Barotra, who won this title in 1931, one of the Mousquetaires. He will be 94 in August. Guy Forget on the left, one of the Davis Cup heroes of 91. A wonderful champion, Jim Courier. 2 straight years, 20 straight matches. The king is dead, and long live this one. Now Gail Gardner is going to interview Andre Agassi when we return to Paris.
The 1993 French Open is brought to you by the new Impreza, Subaru, What to Drive, by Charles Schwab and Company, helping investors help themselves, and by Coppertone Sports Sunblock, provides all-day UVA and UVB protection.
So Jim Courier, in losing his title, committed 68 unforced errors. And Bruguera, the conqueror, helped up by the conquered. And Dan Hicks is ready with Jim Courier.
Well, Jim, first of all, congratulations on an outstanding 5-set match with Sergi Bruguera. This guy could play some tennis.
Yeah, well, there's no question this is his best surface, and you know, he played. Hey, fais attention, c'est le télé. Allô. You know, he played, I think, better than he's ever played against me, for sure. And you know, I could have played a little better, but this whole tournament I haven't been playing my best, but I've been making it through. And today, you know, thought I was going to make it through, but I just didn't quite get there in the end. But that's okay.
Up 2-love in the 5th, and then lost control of the set. What happened there?
Well, you know, it's 2-1 up, and I thought he was hanging his head. I thought he was really tired, and you know, I played a bit of a sloppy game at 2-1, and you know, we got back on serve, and I don't know, he seemed to get his second wind there, and you know, I just couldn't quite seem to get my serve going the whole match, and that really hurt me in the end.
There was so much talk about the historic significance of the 3-peat, Jim.
Yeah.
There was a lot of pressure on you for the past couple of weeks. Did you feel any of that in the match today?
I didn't really feel any pressure. You know, every year I come back and I play here, and you know, I just try and do the best I can, and you know, that's all I can do. I go in here, and you know, I'm proud of myself. I came out and competed, and you know, I'm not doing too bad from a little boy from Dade City.
I don't think so. There's no 3-peat, but congratulations on an outstanding match, Jim Courier.
Get it. The Penguins couldn't, so maybe the Bulls can do it.
Maybe they'll get the 3-peat. Thanks a lot, Jim. Okay. Let's go back up to Bud Collins.
Thank you, Dan Hicks. Sergi Bruguera is in the trainer's room at the moment. He is dehydrated badly. We hope to have him, but we're going to have a look at the rollicking men's doubles final, and also with Chris Evert to review the women's championship. And now to the astounding men's doubles. The Jensen brothers, Luke and Murphy, from the shores of Lake Michigan. Ludington, Michigan, against Germans David Prinnicil and Mark Gollner. 2 unseeded teams. The brothers were behind 3-love in the decisive 3rd set, but then they ran 5 games. They're from a 4-court town, and one of those courts is in their backyard. Murphy and Luke Jensen, they lead 5-3. Here's how John McEnroe and I called it. Now the Jensens, a set all but a 5-3 lead, and they have championship game against Mark Gollner. Luke. 2 hands, Luke. And is he cool?
But I think you can see, in essence, the difference between the 2 teams. Luke and Murphy talk to each other constantly, play off each other. You could hear Luke saying mine. Murphy stepped out of the way. It looked like the Germans, on the other hand, miscommunicated on that first shot. It looked like Prinnicil should have taken it. At the last second, he let it go, forcing Gollner to run back and play a defensive lob. Another bad miss by Prentice-Hill. Two points in victory for the Jensen brothers.
Silence, s'il vous plaît.
The American Mayer brothers, Alex and Gene, won it in 1979. The only other brothers. Pretty rare in the majors, John. You and Peter Fleming beat Tom and Tim Gullickson, the identical twins, in a Wimbledon final.
Silence, s'il vous plaît.
Patrick and I never played in a Grand Slam.
You won a doubles tournament together.
We won a couple doubles tournaments, never played in the Grand Slams.
Whoa! Big 15-30 point for Gallner, and he gets it.
It's not always the easiest proposition to play with your brother and as a partner, so you have to give these guys credit. They look like they're really enjoying themselves out there.
I also proposed you and Patrick as a Davis Cup team to Tom Gorman. He listened with laugh.
Why don't we have a runoff? Patrick and John McEnroe versus the Jensen brothers.
That would be a pretty good match for charity.
You got it.
And the winners play against the Bahamas. How's that?
There it is.
Gallner. And so, 2 points for defeat. Gallner holds serve. It's 5-4 for the Jensens. Murphy Jensen is presented by Coca-Cola Classic, along with the three other guys in this doubles final. Here's a guy who's never won anything. 24.
But this is only, I'm sorry, this is only his second Grand Slam doubles tournament.
He's serving for the French Championship with his brother. Murphy, as did Luke, played for Dick Leach at Southern Cal for a while, and then Murphy played for Dan McGill at Georgia for a year.
But I saw these guys before the match. Murphy Jensen was so excited. He was on cloud 9 before this match started. What a moment for these two.
Murphy and Prentice-Hill.
Well, that's great doubles playing on the part of Murphy Jensen. Just kept blocking the ball back 2 or 3 times. Finally, Prentice-Hill tries it at an angle. Beautiful angle back by Murphy Jensen. Prentice-Hill tried one more angle. It wasn't good enough.
Uh-oh, 30-15.
Well, you can't expect it to go too easy. A love game would have been great, but they're still certainly in the driver's seat here. Smart play by Luke Jensen here. Try to calm his brother down. Probably tell him to get a first serve into play. Play just the type of point that he played in the last time he served to Prentice-Hill. 30-15. Watching Luke signal to him.
What do you think those signals mean? Where will we have dinner or what?
It means let's please win this game.
30-15. Second time they've been 2 points from the title.
Well, that was Murphy's third double fall. Not the best time to do it. Obviously feeling a little bit of pressure right now.
Shaky, is he? Nice to have Big Brother around to poach.
That was a sign of experience here by Luke Jensen. Knew his brother was a little bit tight. Good first serve. He moves across. Match points for the brothers.
Match points. They could be the third pair of brothers to win a major. We mentioned the Mayers. In 1924, Bob and Howard Kinsey won the U.S. title.
I didn't know that.
Just before your time, I think. Match point for the brothers. David Prentice-Hill played a wonderful point.
That was just too good. They shouldn't worry about it. They played it fine enough. Minnesota was just too good off the forehand.
They've had a match point. Third time, 2 points away. Oh!
Avantage Jensen.
Boy, Gollner caught him. Gollner caught Luke moving, but it didn't matter.
If you ask Luke after the match, I'm sure he'll tell you he was there, and he just let it go because he knew it was going to be out.
Match point 2.
Silence, s'il vous plaît.
Maybe take something off this and go to the backhand this point, bud.
Luke for 1. For 2. Luke and Murphy Jensen out of Ludington, Michigan. From nowhere, as far as their careers together, are the French Open champions.
Great victory for the Jensen brothers.
6-7, 6-4. Hello, Ludington, Michigan. The Jensens from Ludington, Michigan, the prides and championship joy of that small town, join Sergi Bruguera as champions of the French Open. Some others, of course, Steffi Graf won yesterday. Watch out for 12-year-old Martina Hingis from Switzerland, won the juniors. Sergi Bruguera, we just saw it, 6-3 in the 5th. Another Spaniard, Roberto Carretero, beats yet another Spaniard for the juniors. And Gigi Fernandez comes through for the United States with Natalia Zvereva. Eugenia Maniakova and Andrei Olhovsky win the mixed for Russia. And when we return, I'll be with Chris Evert for a look back at the female championship.
The 1993 French Open is brought to you by The Travelers, America's Umbrella, by Ray-Ban. Have your day in the sun with the protection of Ray-Ban sunglasses. And by Fruit of the Loom, clothes for the rest of your life.
Arriba, Sergi Bruguera, on his feet and up in the clouds. He is the French Open champion, and he only needs to win 6 more to get even with Chris Evert. Chris, who won 7. Chris, yesterday, Mary Jo Fernandez showed tremendous mettle, but her coach, Harold Solomon, wants her to gain 10 pounds. He wants her to be more aggressive. And I want to know, was this just an isolated incident for Mary Jo Fernandez, or is she going to be a champion?
Well, first of all, she should continue to listen to Harold Solomon because he got her this far. But you have to remember, Martina Navratilova is an example. Martina has the most versatile game on the women's tour. She didn't peak, really, and find her form until she was in her mid-20s. So Mary Jo has to go back to the drawing board. It's going to take a few more years.
Can she do it, though?
Oh, absolutely. I think she can. I saw it in her eyes. I saw that desire, and I saw that toughness, that mental toughness. So I think she's going to be a contender.
Well, there it is from Chris Evert, and we'll see you at Wimbledon, Chrissy. And when we return, you'll hear from John Patrick McEnroe Jr. Gonna talk about a guy neither of us picked, Sergi Bruguera.
Tennis Tips, brought to you by Visa. Honored at over 10 million places worldwide. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
The past few days, we've looked at various techniques, strategies, and ways to improve your game. Watching the top pros is another way for you to gain insight about the game. But a word of caution. These pros are experts. Not everything they do should be tried at home.
NBC Sports coverage of the French Open is presented by Coca-Cola Classic. Always the real thing. Always Coca-Cola.
Don't let the sun go down. But it is going down in Paris, and it went down on Jim Courier's bid for a 3rd consecutive championship. John McEnroe, we both picked wrong. A wonderful match, but why in the long run? Why is Sergi Bruguera the champion?
Well, we talked at the beginning, Bud, that Jim Courier wasn't at his top level. He wasn't playing his best tennis the past couple of weeks. And I think the only person that could exploit that was Sergi Bruguera. He played the match of his life give him all the credit in the world. He's shown a lot of improvement in a lot of different areas, starting with the serve, where he even aced Jim Courier more than Jim Courier.
Aces.
And his volley, won some big points on his volley. It was a tremendous, tremendous match by Sergi Bruguera.
Do you agree with Jose Higuera's third game, 2-love lead? Courier got too passive in the 5th set.
Absolutely. It was a huge game, a big chance to win it there, but he let it slip away.
We'll be back with some final thoughts from Stade Roland Garros right after this. These guys hit a couple thousand shots today, but one of them qualifies as the Dean Witter shot of the day. As the no longer champion Courier with Bruguera. It starts out routinely enough. But Bruguera, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 steps, and he wins himself the Dean Witter shot of the day. The new champ, Sergi Bruguera of Barcelona. So, Steffi Graf, who is seeded number 1, leaves Paris as champion, but Sergi Bruguera, a total surprise. The executive producer of NBC Sports, Terry O'Neill. The French Open was produced by John McGinnis, directed by Dick Klein. Videotape producers, Bill Bunnell and Carol Larson. Associate directors, Brian Orenreich, Mary Lomuscio, and Dick Ellis. Technical director, Dave Mazza. Be sure to join NBC Sports Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. Game 1, the finals of the NBA, the two-time defending champs, Chicago Bulls against Barkley and the other guys from Phoenix, the Suns. For Chris Evert, John McEnroe, and Dan Hicks, I'm Bud Collins saying, Hackers, get your games ready. The next time we meet, it's Wimbledon, the big W.